Good evening, College Park. It is Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., January 14, 2025, the very first in-person meeting of the year. If I haven't given you the Happy New Year to you all. Thanks all who have come to the meeting and who have joined online. Make the order of calling the meeting of the College Park City Council, College Park, Maryland. We'll begin the meeting in the usual fashion with a moment of silent meditation followed by Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, this will be led by Councilmember Hill. Council, anyone wants to add anything to the meditation? Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if we can continue to think about the families who are in California that are being affected with the wildfire. Many are now homeless and destitute. I know I have family who left in time and are now in Las Vegas, but their house is gone. So if we can continue to keep them in our thoughts, it would be truly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Senator Councilmember Mackey.
I wanted to ask that we all just remember the hostages and that we hope that the hostages it will move forward. I'm sure that my colleague was that the one you were going to say? No, okay. So just hopefully that we will receive those hostages back. Thank
Certainly,
you.
and hoping the peace to return. Thank you. Anyone else? Councilman Hernandez.
I just ask our colleagues and residents to keep our country in mind. This is the last session we have with President Biden in power. We're thankful for his service to our nation, and we wish President-elect Trump the best of luck, and are thankful for our nation and the peaceful transfer of power that we have.
Certainly. Anyone else? Seeing none, please join me in a moment of silent meditation. Councilmember Hugh.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We'll do the roll call, starting with District 1 City Council Member Hernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Hill.
Present.
Councilmember Dr. Esters.
Here.
Councilmember Whitney.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell.
Present.
Councilmember Mackey.
Present.
Councilmember Rigg is away, and he said he will not be joining tonight. All right, we'll do the announcement in the same order. Comments and announcement. Councilmember Hernandez.
Just want to thank the NCPCA, the North College Park Civic Association for hosting a great meeting and discussion last week. We talked about potential changes and priorities of North College Park. They are in the process of drafting a letter for their position on extending the trolley trail and a position on one of the charter resolutions. It was just good to see some civic engagement, some unique civic engagement, and how they were adapting to the changes. In the spirit of civic engagements, we are looking forward to trying to host another district discussion, hopefully in anticipation of a robust budget discussion here coming soon. We would love to be able to have some feedback from the residents, and I want to also thank our city engineer and city staff for being so responsive to the water valve breaks from WSSC throughout the week, yesterday during the weekend, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Hill.
Yes, I echo Councilmember Hernandez's report on the North College Park Civic Association, and as well as the great job our Public Works staff has been doing in responding to the water main breaks, water freezing overnight from resulting such breaks. I was just visiting one on Hollywood this evening before coming over to the meeting. We're well aware of it. It is getting pretty serious. I'm hoping that WSSC will respond to it. I know that they're overwhelmed, given that they had, 47 water main breaks this past weekend. Had a chance of hearing a conversation with one of the WSSC workers on their break, and they were saying how most of them had done over 20 hours overtime this weekend. And so they are trying to get to the water main breaks as they can, starting with the more severe ones first. So there may be some delay, but rest assured, our Public Works crew will be following up with salt as the road freezes overnight. So keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you. Echo that. Dr. Esters?
Yes, related to the water main breaks, I'd like to thank all residents and everyone within the area who actually helped to conserve water. So there was a request by WSSC to ensure that folks reserved water so that in case there were fires or emergencies, those could be handled in the midst of the number of water breaks that were had. So thank you for everyone who took the time to do it.
Thank you. And because of that, the WSSC could lift the water restriction pretty quickly. So it is a very good job by everyone. Thank you. Councilmember Whitney?
I was going to send the same thanks out to residents for conserving water. Also, I wanted to encourage all of our able-bodied residents in and around the city of College Park. If you can sign up to help people in need who cannot shovel their own sidewalks, and in the wake of the storms we've been having recently, Neighbors Helping Neighbors really needs volunteers. So you can go to their website at www.nhn-cp.org to sign up, and they would welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Ms. Lourdes Perez in the room, and she will be very happy to welcome you if you want to volunteer. She leads many people. And Mr. Thurston, the Neighbors Helping Neighbors president. Thank you for doing a wonderful job. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you. All right, Mayor Protem?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Whitney, for bringing that up, because I was going to mention it as well. But I also would like to announce District 4 will be having a listening session. We haven't decided on a date, but that will soon be forthcoming, and just wanted to let residents know, and hopefully we can put that out to the on the e-news that comes out on Friday. Two other points regards to Metro. One, as we know, Monday will be the inauguration day and MLK Day, so lines of services and timing will be different. Hopefully we can put that out on the e-news on Friday. Also, Metro is looking for comments in regards to the upcoming budget survey. So I would like for the city council to send that, once again, if the city staff can send it out on their news about the link, and residents can give comments about the proposed budget for the Metro, because there are some service lines that may be interrupted or not, or taken away completely. Last but not least, this morning I had the opportunity to listen to the county council, and they were talking about the upcoming session in Annapolis. And part of that session talked about the Antrim County Executive's priorities. And I'm really excited to announce that part of the priorities was the funding of $12 million for the flooding reduction in Calvert Hills. This has been a long and coming concept that we've been working on for years, as long as I've been on the council, and finally this is going to be placed into the county executive budget, and we're working with Annapolis to get this passed forward. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Good news. Unfortunately, none of our District 3 colleagues are here. They would be very happy, but we can pass the news along. Thank you. Ms. Mackey?
Yes, I just wanted to add that being that there's still snow on the sides of the road, Please be very cautious of those that are walking. Many of our roads do not have places where people can walk safely, and they're walking in the street. So please be very cautious as you drive, especially at night. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go to a student liaison, Ms. McDonald's.
Thank you so much. Just want to share that school is still not in session, and the majority of students will return sometime around January 27 to the General College Park area.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder.
Mr. Mayor, sorry if I can
Me too.
add, our student liaison and deputy student liaison have been invited to participate in the Maryland Municipal League's Legislative Committee. So they will be representing College Park periodically, attending the legislative committee meetings, so that is truly something
Good.
that
Good. Hope to see you there. Thank you. Our city manager's report, Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, residents of College Park. All city offices will be closed on Friday, January 17th in observation of Inauguration Day, and on Monday, January 20th in observation of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. This will mean that all our trash and recycling will be picked up one day later. So Monday collections will occur on Tuesday, Tuesday will occur on Wednesday, and Wednesday collections will occur on Thursday, with our bulk and special trash collections occurring on Friday of this week. That notice is already out and on our communication channels as of yesterday. As well, we have our special election for District 3 that is scheduled for March 11th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. here at City Hall in the community room. You can also find out more of this information online through our webpage. There are also some requirements for those that are interested in running. There are required forms. Those are due by February the 5th. And you can contact our clerk's office for any questions you have. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you. Any question for Mr. Young? That makes your life easy. Thank you. Let's do acknowledgement. We have one former City Council member, Maxine Gross, in the room. Thank you, Ms. Gross, for joining us. It's always nice to see you. All right, I don't see anyone online, former elected official. Danielle Glass, well, used to be here, but she left, I think. Yeah, I think she left. Former county council member. All right, now we go to proclamation. I have to read one proclamation. I'm honored to read that. So I'm going down the podium and do that. We have some distinguished guests in the room. I'll read them. So this is a proclamation honoring the life and legacy of Elizabeth Campbell Adams. She's a Lakeland resident, so we are joined by quite a few family members of Miss Adams and also some of the community members from Lakeland community. So I'd like to invite all of you to join me if you could. So I want to read it together. Just come over. Ms. Gross. And thank you so much.
Jennifer Campbell Dawkins, I'm the youngest.
Okay, daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ms. Gross. Let's come over here. Mr. Carson, let's come.
Mr. Mayor, should the District 2 council members also join?
Absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah. Good idea. Thank you. Come close, please. All right, so the proclamation reads as follows. This is a proclamation of the City of College Park Maryland, honoring the life and legacy of Elizabeth Campbell Adams. And it reads as follows. Whereas Elizabeth Campbell Adams was a cherished member of Lakeland community whose life embodied the values of service, compassion, and unwavering dedication to her family, neighbors, and community. And whereas Elizabeth Campbell Adams devoted her life to uplifting others, whether through her involvement in the Lakeland Civic Association, her card ministry, and her tireless support of church and cultural initiatives that enriched the lives of so many, and whereas Elizabeth Campbell Adams played an instrumental role in preserving the unique character and history of Lakeland, ensuring that its stories and traditions are passed down to future generations with respect and care. And whereas Elizabeth Campbell Adams' legacy continues to inspire countless individuals to live lives of purpose and service, reminding us all of the impact that one dedicated person can have on one entire community. And whereas the Lakeland Civic Association mourns the loss of Elizabeth Campbell Adams while celebrating her many contributions, which will remain an enduring part of our community's fabric. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park join the Lakeland Civic Association in proclaiming our deep gratitude and respect for the life and legacy of Elizabeth Campbell Adams, and we encourage all members of our community to honor her memory by continuing her work of fostering unity, service, and compassion. Proclaimed this 14th day of January 2025, Fazl Kabir, Mayor, City of College Park, Maryland. All right, so this is my honor to give it to the family and the community. Everyone, please come over. We're going to take a group pictures with this. Where's the family? Please come over.
Okay.
Just you hold it, please. Okay. Take your time. Thank you so much. Thank you all again for coming. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you again, all from the community and the family, for joining us. It is wonderful to see you all. Thank you. Now we go to the next order of business, which is the amendments and approval of the agenda. I think we've been asked to add one item. Ms. Whitney?
Yes, I move to add a work session discussion about agenda items for the January 2025 Four Cities meeting in College Park.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? The item has been added. Anyone else wants to add anything or
No,
change?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? The agenda has been approved. Now, I invite you for any public comments. If you have anything that is not on the agenda, on the consent agenda, or any consent agenda or non-agenda items, please, this is the time to come over and speak. You have 3 minutes. Okay. Anyone online? I don't see anyone. When I speak, you can raise your virtual hand. I will allow you to speak. Seeing none, let's go to the consent agenda approval item. We have two items. Let me read them out, then I'll entertain a motion. The first one is 25G09, which is the approval to purchase and installation of license plate recognition LPR technology with Ames Parking Management Solutions to include a 4-year extended warranty at an estimated cost of $49,172. And second and last one is 25G10 or 10, which is the approval of a recommendation to the Board of Liquor License Commissions of Prince George's County for issuance of a Class B beer and wine liquor alcoholic beverage license to Infinity Flow Ventures LLC, Jark at Knight College Park, 7313, a Baltimore Avenue, College Park 20740, subject to license agreement to a property use agreement PUA with the city in substantially the form attached, authorizing the city manager to sign the PUA and send the letter to the board indicating the city's support. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to accept the consent agenda as written. Thank you.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Mackey and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. We do not have any presentations, public hearing, or action items, and we have two work sessions, actually 3 work sessions. The first one is 25G11, which is the review of the advisory board annual reports and work plans, and this will be taken by our city clerk, Ms. Allen.
Hi, Mayor and Council. 19R22, Resolution 19R22, established by the Committees on Committees, requested that all boards and committees submit an annual work plan, and they are here tonight. We have everyone here tonight that's going to submit theirs. And do you want to start with APC?
Absolutely.
Yes. Does anyone, Miriam, do you want to come up for APC?
Yeah, we'll go one by one, right?
No,
Go ahead, Denise.
excuse me, point of order, Mr. Mayor. It was my assumption that we weren't gonna do one by one, only the ones that we had questions about.
Oh,
Versus
okay.
one by one. I could be wrong, it's gonna be the first nor the last.
What does the council think? I mean, do we need to go through all of them? Sorry, one by one, or we can
We don't
only go?
have to. If you have questions for any particular board or committee, please let us know.
Yeah,
and-
we have some members of some of the committees. I see the the pedestrian and bicycle safety committee, a couple of members are there, and the staff liaison is there as well. Certainly, they would be happy to give their feedback, and we may have some questions as well. Any council, any other committees you want to talk about?
Mr. Mayor,
Pro Tem.
may I make a recommendation?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, if they're here and they have something that they want to speak, like,
They're certainly.
towards council.
Okay, before we bring please come in and join, but before, as they join, there is a question from Mayor Pro Tem on the APC. Please go ahead. Please come and join, please.
To our city clerk, Ms. Allen, just for historical purposes, I know APC has never had to come before the council with a work plan. There was a question from some residents as to, and I could not give a solid answer as to why that was determined. And if you don't have the answer tonight, that's fine. I know we had the
It's
planning
staff.
director here.
Certainly, staff can get back to,
If you
I'll
need to
get
get
back
back
with
to
you.
us, that's fine.
certainly. All right, Ms.
the city
Bader has a
manager.
response. Is that related to APC? Please come forward. Please take the seat. We need you.
Perhaps they've been given a pass in the past, but
No, so Miriam Bader, Director of Planning and Community Development. So my understanding is that there's not a work plan with the APC because they respond to applications. So it's not that they're set up with a formal work plan. their primary focus is on reviewing variances and departures. So that's how it is. It's a as-needed basis.
Okay, so the question I have is, I know we've had discussions in prior years in regards to the APC doing more than just that. So that's why I'm bringing that to your attention. So again, it doesn't have to be answered tonight, but it was a robust discussion in past years that APC would at least look at proposed developments that were coming up to the council for consideration and do listening sessions with the residents as well as bring forth recommendations. So,
Yes.
and I'm just putting that there. There's nothing, you can get back to
Yes.
us as a body.
So are we looking at maybe bringing it up as a discussion item to see? I think the APC would be interested in reviewing that, and I think they were wondering if City Council would like that.
Okay, I know the former chair and former District 4 Councilmember Ms. Cook, at that time, she brought that up as a point of discussion for us to consider.
Okay.
Yeah, we can always invite them in a future meeting
Mhm.
to have a discussion.
And I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bader, that's helpful.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. So we are joined by Mr. Mark Schroeder, the chair of the Bicycle and Safety Committee, and we have also staff liaison. Thank you so much for joining. Ms. Schroeder, do you want to start off?
I don't intend to say very much.
Please turn your mic
Which way?
on the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't intend to say very much. I am Mark Schroeder. You know me. And this, of
And
course.
the former city council member.
Yes, and of course, and this is Rocky. Also with us tonight is Donald Hayes and Joe Tanier. And I don't know if you've got anybody on Zoom. We understand that the purpose of the work session is to address questions from council. We also understand that we have by far the longest annual plan that you're looking at. That's for two reasons. One is because we're new and we had a lot of things that we wanted staff to work on, and we didn't want you blaming staff for that. That's on us. The things that we would like to accomplish are sometimes expensive, but not necessarily this year. The way the city has developed, a large part of the city population are living in cul-de-sacs, one way or another. And cul-de-sacs may be comforting to some people, but if you're trying to get out of them on a bicycle or on foot, and the only way out is Route 1 or University Boulevard, that's dangerous. We expect that the Bicycle Planning Advisory Committee will have substantial things to do for as long as you are members of the council and beyond, and as long as we are members of the advisory committee and beyond, because the way the city is built is not conducive, in many cases, to being a bicyclist or a pedestrian.
Certainly. Mr. Rafi, do you want to have anything? I know you spend a lot of time with the committee.
I have nothing to add to that. I've been with the committee for half a year, but yeah, as far as right now, I don't have much to add.
Absolutely. Thank you for your help. Surely, I see a couple of, actually one hand now. Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell. It's your night.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to both the co-chairs for a very well-intentional report. I really appreciate it, and I also appreciate the issues and problems that you brought up on section 4 on page 49. And I want to touch on one of them. And when you talk about prioritized CIP projects, and I know Mr. Schroeder is a former council member, and that resonates with me as we are getting ready to prepare for our budget work session. So I will ask the question to you, would it be beneficial for you as a committee to see a copy of those our proposed budget in order to help you, to help us to make proper recommendations?
I think so, yes. And I think we can have that on the January meeting agenda.
Certainly.
Thank you.
And many of these can be part of our CIP. We have a completely street project, and many of the work you do can be part of that as well. Thank you. Ms. Whitney?
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank you for the work that this committee has already done. Sometimes a committee is constituted and you think, how did we ever not have this committee in the first place? Like, you guys have hit the ground running. You've been so busy since you started and have put forward incredible work already. Also, nice logo. I don't know who was responsible for that, but I like it. I had a question under the FY25 annual plan. You have on page 51 of the packet, or page 1 of your plan, under connectivity analysis, you reference a PALS project by Andrew Burnish's class. And I just wondered what that was. I didn't know what that was about, and I would love to hear more about it.
Think you can answer that one?
Yeah, that was a project done to create a crash map or a near miss map for the city. So yeah, that's referencing that, and we'll go ahead and clarify that as a side note in the future.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think if you can send a link to that to council members, so we can publicize that and talk about it in civic association meetings and put it on our blogs and stuff, that would be great.
Certainly, and we plan on creating stickers and distributing those in the future as well.
Cool.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez?
I echo my colleagues' comments on the thanks for all the hard work. I know that we've seen the reports not only a couple of sessions ago where Donald Hayes and Brendan Ray came and presented to us. Obviously, there's some good work being done, and you guys are staying on top of it. Because of that, I think I have the same question for all of the folks who are here, for all the committees that are here. If it's possible or beneficial for you all to kind of loop us in as like the year goes along. I mean, I love hearing the presentations when they're already here, but if there's a better mechanism for us to be more involved in the discussions or planning process without us entirely getting into your guys' and shifting the conversation. Because I understand that sometimes when council is a part of these committees discussions, the conversation shifts or has a different sort of character. But I'd like to make myself available, and I think most of my colleagues would echo the same way. But it helps us become a little bit more familiar than when it's presented before us all, or maybe we could provide our own input. So,
Does the council get copies of our agenda?
We get the minutes. We see the
You
minutes.
get the minutes?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
posted on city website.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the agenda too?
the agenda, let's find a way where it's unwieldy, where it's not unwieldy and additional work for you all. I just want to propose my availability to listen and be able to provide those inputs.
So I will tell you that whenever we think we have something to say, we try and get on the council agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe that your meetings are on our city calendar, right? All of
Yes.
the advisory committee meetings. So if you go to the city calendar, you'll find it, the meeting dates and times. And they are online, I believe. Anyone can join by Zoom?
Yeah, they're held every third week on Thursday of every month.
Okay.
And we can maybe figure out like a status report that we send out periodically, if that is helpful.
Certainly,
But-
certainly.
But
I certainly mean a lot more.
I just want to be clear. If we have something to say, we will try and get on your agenda.
Yes, I understand. I think from my perspective and in more informal capacity, for anyone who's listening on the committee staff, if you'd like to reach out, please feel free to.
Yeah, but also, we'll be inviting you, welcoming you anytime you have anything for us as a body that might work better. Thank you. Ms. Whitney, second bite?
Yes, it'll be quick. I know the NCPCA has, at their most recent meeting, spoke about extending the trolley trail north of Greenbelt Road. And I just wonder if there's coordination when, like, do civic associations know to reach out to you when they're discussing something that's pertinent to your committee? And if not, that might be a good connection to make. And in discussing walkability north of 193, I would also like to throw the idea of a sidewalk all the way down 51st Street, which is a very, very long street, but I hear a lot about it.
So the first thing I would say is that the motion at NCPCA was brought by Mr. Hayes, who is, there are certain civic associations that are not represented on BPAC. If members think that they should be represented on BPAC, I don't know what your procedure would be, because I believe you have a fixed number of people that you are putting on BPAC. I don't have an immediate suggestion about how to bring other civic associations in.
Certainly, Mr. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I joined the NCPCA meeting this past time, and there were discussions during that meeting to engage with BPAC and follow up with the association one way or another. So that is expected as a next step.
Yeah, have you received the letter from the NCPCA leadership yet?
At the moment, I do not have a letter yet.
Okay. They said they will be drafting it to send that to us, and maybe you'll be getting a copy of it as well. Thank you. It's an interesting idea. We do not know all the details because it's a very early stage, but thank you, NCPCA, for looking into it. Thank you. I was at the meeting as well, so Mr. Hernandez and Councilmember he was there too, and Ms. Mackey was there, right? All right, any question? That was easy. Thank you. Thank you all for your continued work. Oh my goodness, I looked at the packet. You have done so much work, and you are volunteers. You have full-time jobs left. Keep up the good work. Please let us know how can we help you. Thank you. All right. Any questions about any other committees? Dr. Esters.
I did have a question about the Bee City Committee. At the end of their report, they asked about district distribution requirements for membership as to enable them to improve their service and advice to the council. However, I wondered if they can have more volunteers who participate to allow them to serve versus changing the distribution of membership. So you have actual, so my thought is that you have actual voting members, but you have a cadre of volunteers who are assisting them in doing their work.
Non-voting.
Non-voting,
members.
yes.
Is this possible by the way we have our structures of other committees? Is there any precedence like that? I know we have, recently we created the Child Care Task Force, and that has voting members and non-voting members, but I don't think we have anything like that in any of the committees. No.
No, we don't have that in any.
But is there any issue if we create?
I would have to look at the resolution that established, and we
Okay.
can go from there.
We probably need to bring a resolution to change the structures if there is a desire from the community, from the council. Sorry, I didn't notice. Ms. Whitney, you were the first?
Doesn't matter, you can go first.
Okay, please go ahead.
I was just wondering if you could clarify if, and this
Thank
may
you.
be what you just said you need to look into, what exactly the rules are about membership of this committee, because I don't remember if it actually required a certain number of members from each district. I think my recollection is it's, some council members have expressed a preference that at least there be representation from every district, but I don't recall it being a requirement, but perhaps I'm wrong about that.
Some committees have requirements based on district. Some committees don't have, like CVE doesn't have any district-based requirements. They're open-ended.
If I may, I do believe that this committee was seeking representation from each of the districts. I don't know about the requirement, but I do believe that that's what they were seeking. And I do think in some situations, the openings have been maintained in order to identify folks from particular districts.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Hill. And then Ms. Mackey.
I know for a fact that there are at least 2 or 3 committees that have people attend their meetings that aren't voting members. Why is it an issue for B-City? Because I think BPAC, who just left, I know they have. Yeah.
So my question really has to do with the work that they're doing, because they're doing work, they're going out and they're planting and they're doing that type of work. It's a little different than some of the other committees. So why couldn't they just have volunteers who are helping in doing that work, was my thought.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'd be in support of it. Is anybody against it?
Mr. Hill? Okay.
So, a little background on the former chair of that committee from when it first started. And we've had a few residents who have attended meetings in interest of what we're doing, but until they become a member, they often tend to drift off. You know, once they have that commitment of being a member, they seem to come more regularly. And it is a committee that is a more like hands-on, where we do plantings. I mean, we in the last 2 seasons that we've been at the Bee Lab, National Bee Lab at the USGS site in Beltsville, you know, the first season we planted 1,300 native pollinator plants. Last season we planted 3,000 for giveaways at various city events and various pollinator gardens throughout the city. The Office of Community Engagement, Good Neighbor Day, you know, often focuses on planting pollinator gardens with these plants that we've planted. So it is a committee that could withstand more members, official members, and it is. I don't know if it's because of, you know, my visibility in District 1, or if it's the farmers market in District 1, but it seems that we have a lot of District 1 residents who've been interested in applying for the committee, but I know there's been some challenges of not wanting to overload one district on the committee. So, you know, if we could address that in a way that we could allow for that more.
So, the suggestion Dr. Estes made looks like that can address the issue in District 1 volunteers,
Yeah.
right? So it looks like you're supportive, but District
Okay.
1 colleagues are
Yes.
supportive of the idea. Thank you. Ms. Allen, please.
So I have the resolution here. It's up to 9 members, but anybody can attend any of the boards and committee meetings. They're open to the public. They can join in on a meeting, they just can't vote.
So by default, they are non-voting members.
They're non-voting members, correct.
Anyone can join. They don't need to be listed on the paper.
If I can follow up on that. So it's, without being on the committee, it's hard for them to get the notices of upcoming agendas and stuff automatically. So they have to be attentive to following the city calendar. I took it upon myself to reach out to a number of residents who were interested and alert them of the upcoming meeting and agenda and things that they can do to help. But it takes a lot of effort for a chair to continually reach out to various
I'll come back.
community members.
All right, I'll come back to Mr. Hernandez after. Ms. Mackey, thank you. Thanks for your patience. You've been
It's
waiting.
okay. If my colleague is talking about this issue, I will defer because I had raised my hand on a different issue.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Is it,
Second bite.
yes, second bite, Mayor. Can I make a recommendation that there be some sort of listserv or some sort of tech solution here to get folks to just apply to, let's say that the residents want to apply to keep track of the BC committees, whether you're a voting member or not a voting member, like as long as you have access to the group, right? The chair doesn't have to be troubled by having to send those updates. I'm really having a hard time understanding why we can't have as many volunteers as we want, but only have a certain amount of voting members.
Ms. Allen, so every committee has a staff liaison.
Staff liaison,
I think
correct.
can she or he send those messages about the meetings?
Of course.
Okay.
They
Looks
would
like
have to
looks
have
like
an
that was-
updated list.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. To end this, I think it's just the fact of the liaisons will work with with city manager, city clerk. Whoever wants to volunteer for a certain activity should be able to volunteer for that activity without being an actual member from whatever part of the city. That helps them to become interested at some point in time to then apply to be on that committee. But to Councilmember Dr. Estes, my colleague, I think she was just talking about how do we get people to participate in certain activities, and then we can move forward from there after that.
And that's a good idea. Mayor Pro Tem, so that suggestion applies to all the communities, not only the B City.
All the committees, so we don't have to put any changes to our current or information about how to change. So I think this could put to bed the discussion about how we get volunteers.
All right. Now, Ms. Allen, you need to probably send an email to all of the staff liaison on that. Just advice. More work for you. Mr. Young, sorry, your mic is on. I didn't notice it. Now, the
It's
second
okay.
work session can fix it, right? The software.
If I send the message, they have to respond. If Yvette sends it, they don't. So, but I will send the message. I've already have the task directed to staff even before you all started the conversation. So it's already taken care of.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking it up. Yeah, if you send the email, that probably will carry more weight. Thank you. We recognize that. Thank you, Dr. Estes.
It was not my intention to start an unnecessary conversation. Just to be clear, when I saw this request for redistribution per district, I thought that this would open the door for other committees to want to do the same and try to really understand people can be involved without actually being voting members. So thank you.
Thank you, but yeah, don't feel bad. I mean, you started a discussion. Now we have a good policy that is going to be applied to all the communities. So thank you for bringing this up. Appreciate that. All right, now go to the next item.
So
Ms. Mackey.
I have a question for, I think it's council and staff. So the committees have all given us a wonderful work plan, and will we be having work sessions to address their work plans?
Unless you make a request, that's my thought, Ms.
Okay,
Allen.
because,
Unless you get a request from the council, I don't think we'll
okay,
be
so I
inviting
would
them.
like to encourage my colleagues to look at some of the things and ask for a work plan. Like, for instance, I'll just look at the one that I just glanced at. The senior committee had a lot of great things that they brought, and I'm sure that we'll be having a work plan. As the pedestrian and bicycle committee also had some great ideas. Other committees just had little small things that they want us to do, which I don't think will cause us to need to do a work session. Like, for example, the EAC would like to have Ms. Dawn Powers recognized for her longtime work with the EAC and
Some.
ordering all the books. But that was my first bite. So
Thank
since
you.
I had to wait so long, I had a few questions. I don't know if there's anyone from the Tree and Landscape Board online that can address.
Can you, before you go to the next one?
Okay, that's fine.
Is there any objection from the council to, about inviting the senior committee at a future work session to discuss their work plan?
Well, the senior committee is the one that popped out at me when I looked at it, because they had a lot of things on their just their ideas, but I just wanted to know, are we going to do that, you know?
It's up to the council. If-
Okay,
if you-
well, I would definitely like to do the bike and pedestrian future work session, and it doesn't have to be tomorrow or, you know.
Next meeting.
In the future, and also the senior committee. And I don't know if my colleagues see any other one. I know that, I think the tree and landscape also had a lot of things on there that they might want to. I don't know. I just was wondering how we were gonna address their ideas. And that it's not just something that is written in here on paper and we put it on our desk and, you know, it gets buried, that we do bring them forward. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss,
If I could,
yeah, sorry.
most of the reason why this is on here is so that council can see what some of the suggestions are ahead of preparing for the annual budget process that we undergo. If there are questions that you all have that have come out of the reports that you'd like additional information on, please just email those questions to my office. I'll be happy to make sure that everybody gets a copy of those questions and responses, and we can forward those to the committee, and you can have that information ahead of your budget work sessions on them. And if there's ones that it looks like we need to have a broader conversation, we'll be happy to bring that back and get that scheduled on a future agenda.
Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's probably easier. Doing it. Mr. Hernandez? Yeah. Okay, that's not a hand. All right, Mayor Pro Tem? No, you're done. All right, I think we're done with this, all the committees. Thank you, and please send your question to staff. They'll be happy to get those answers for you.
I'll ask my question on email to the
Ms. Whitney? Huh?
Just one follow-up question. As far as budget implications, there are several, you know, scattered throughout these reports. Will it be, will the staff liaison be bringing those up through the budget process as part of their ask? Or is it more incumbent upon council to really put a star next to the ones that are important to them and talk about it?
We'll be going through each one of those with each department that those committees belong in, and we go through each one of those suggestions that are made, particularly those that have budget implications to them. We'll evaluate those at the department level, and then we'll have a discussion. I meet with each of the department heads in regards to those, and then we'll make a recommendation that goes in the packet that then goes to council. And you'll see where either we align or don't align, but it's obviously the council's prerogative on what you want to do with that particular item. Very similar to the staffing issue that we went and spent so much time with last year with the seniors committee. There was a few others as well, and mostly dealing with bike and pedestrian connectivity and some of those projects, because they do have an implication not just sometimes for 1 year, but multiple years.
Okay, and one more follow-up question. Is there a typical number of hours that a staff liaison is anticipated to spend on a particular committee? Like, is there, or does it just, some don't require much and some, because I noticed some of the estimated staff hours were pretty high for some of them.
Some of the committees do require much more attention than others. The EAC, for instance, takes a considerable amount of time, and the amount of staff resources that we have available is very limited because of the person who is actually the liaison to the committee.
Mm-hmm.
Bike and pedestrian as well, another big one. What is the other one in Public Works? I know there's a couple of the committees that are really busy and require a lot more attention than others. And some of that reasoning is some of the initiatives the city has set forward, particularly regarding transportation and environmental priorities for the city. And so those kind of align with where the priorities of the council have been.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilman Whitney, for bringing that up. Just to add to it, and maybe this is the wrong time to ask the city manager this. When the staff liaison looks at the budget implication, do they also look at how it aligns with the current strategic plan?
We probably won't be doing that because the strategic plan is several years old at this
Okay.
point. But it is, it's a reminder that we need to engage that process no matter how painful. It does make it much more difficult with two-year term appointments, which I've had that discussion with you all before, but this is the year of bluntness for me, so
Thank you.
so we probably will not be looking at that right now. But it is something that we really do need to start aligning up
And moving toward.
with the strategic plan moving forward.
Okay.
Not to say that we haven't been looking at what the priorities were and the strategic priorities of the council were. We've obviously tried to line that up as closely as possible, but we haven't married them one-to-one just yet. But one day we'll get there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, I think that's all we have for this work session. Let's go to the second one, which is 25G12, which is about the review of open meeting software, and this will be taken by Mr. Gardiner. Pretty exciting stuff. Thank you for your work. Do you have a demo or something? Not yet, kind of.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a kind of a quick discussion to see if you're interested in software that will help with meeting management and ultimately could help with creating minutes, and I think it would also help a lot with the way the public sees your votes. And so what I'd like to do is just have a quick, like a 2-minute video from the company website. It's called Open Meeting Technologies. And then another shorter video about how they use the voting. And then just have a discussion, or if it is helpful, I can pull up the PowerPoint that's in the packet and kind of walk through that. But let me just give a quick, or have the vendor give a 1.5-minute overview of their product.
At Open Meeting, we believe modern legislative meetings should be efficient, easy to run, and easy to follow. That's why we've developed the Open Meeting System, the smartest electronic voting solution for local government meetings. Effortlessly boost transparency with a meeting display that instantly communicates meeting activity, such as the agenda item, requests to speak, and vote results. The Open Meeting Public Display helps citizens follow the meeting, improving transparency and public trust. Streamline your meetings with electronic roll call and voting. Whether your group is big or small, this saves you time and streamlines your meeting activity, giving you a professional and polished presentation. Conduct organized and fair discussion with request to speak and speaker timers. This ensures everyone has an equal opportunity to speak and encourages effective, concise, and orderly discussion. Save time and resources during meeting and minutes preparation because the Open Meeting System automatically documents meeting activity and creates minutes for you. You deserve better meetings. The public deserves better meetings. With Open Meeting, your meetings are efficient, easy to run, and easy to follow. Open Meeting. Welcome to modern legislative meetings.
All right. Let me scroll down to the let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for a particular video.
Yeah, right there, watch video under the
Ah, thank you. This is a different video, but it'll work, I'm sure. No. Okay, we're gonna come back to the request to vote, request to vote video. Let me just pull up the PowerPoint and let you know kind of how it would work physically with you. The plan is for each of you to have a tablet. It would be loaded with this application, kind of dedicated just for that use. And then the city clerk would have probably a laptop that would have a little bit more information and capacity to manage the meeting. And the mayor would have a similar device that would be either a tablet or a laptop that would be a little more enabled than what you have, so that he can manage the meeting from that spot. And then probably over here on the wall, there'd be a large monitor, kind of a 70 or 80-inch monitor, and that would be to have the listing of the votes. It would have the vote item and then your individual names and your vote. It could also have the queue, so everybody, the public, you, on your devices would see the queue order, and people here could look at the board and see who's speaking and who's up next and who's up after that person. So initially we were looking really just for something that would manage queuing and make it easy for the mayor or whoever's running the meeting to know who's in line, and so you're not looking left and right and waving hands and all of that. This system does that. It also times speakers if you wish. And then we haven't talked about implementing this right away, but it has kind of an agenda builder functionality so that you can put the meetings into the system, because it records the votes and it records the votes by item. It can generate minutes pretty easily, pretty quickly. So let me shut this down and pull up the PowerPoint to just go over a couple parts of what I just discussed. So, right, this would be the large monitor that we put up for you to look at and for the public to see. This is the device that the mayor would have, or the kind of what the mayor would see. You probably all have the same devices. This would be the device council members would have. And if the meeting is remote, or if a member is away, this could be done on a phone, on a laptop, or we could have an extra device that someone could pick up and take with them and bring back. And the idea of having a separate tablet is so that you don't have to look at your laptop like Yvette and I do, where you're trying to manage the meeting and look at the agenda and then figure out where you're voting. So this would just be for, basically for you all, it'd be for voting, it could be for roll call, be to see the queue. And so this would be what the clerk would have. And this is just a larger image of the same thing, really. I guess a lot of the users just do an electronic roll call, so you sign yourself in as present via this product. And this would be an example of when you vote. You would see this. The public display would show that. You would vote. After the votes were locked, the public screen and your screen would show the result. The public screen would show the result, who voted how, and then it would be recorded within the system. So you're discussing an item. you hit the request to speak button, the mayor gets to see that so-and-so has requested to speak, and everybody sees the queue. So, any questions, feel free to, yes.
There's so much excitement.
Yeah.
All right. I need the software right now. There's so many hands. Thank you. Ms. Whitney.
Okay, first, just a comment that this makes a roll call vote a thing of the past, right? Because every vote is a roll call vote now. Secondly, how will the app be used? I know there was some mention of it when amendments are on the table, and if, like, a vote is taken and the way it's preloaded into the system, on the screen, it's showing the original motion, but that's now significantly amended. Is it going to be up to the clerk to amend that in real time and get the language up there?
It is capable of doing amendments in real time.
Would it be possible to have, I don't know if it would be appropriate for the city attorney to also have a screen in case she's actually crafting amendments for us in real time to assist with the clerk. That might be good.
Sure.
Just for backup, because sometimes, we have a lot of words flying around up here, and I could see that being kind of challenging to do in real time.
Well, I think the system will help in the sense of kind of forcing us all to make sure that we've got it down in writing, and we're all seeing the same thing, and we know what it is the amendment or what the motion now reads. So, but it is capable of, amending the motion and posting the amended motion so that you see what's current.
Certainly.
Okay.
Can you, are you done?
I have a couple more, almost done. Sorry, going through my dog ears. Nope, done.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll have a second bite.
Oh, really?
How about I start from the right and come this way? Mr. Hernandez?
How much does it cost?
10,000?
They have different tiers, and the tier that we were suggested is about 10,000 for setup and about 5,000 annually. That's kind of the middle tier. And I think that would be fine. Actually, we could probably get by with a less expensive option if we wanted to.
But the initial upfront cost with the screens, that includes the screens, the staff time, and
That includes setup cost by the vendor. It includes the annual license. The estimate for the tablets plus the monitor screen, I think was another $9,000.
so total about 20 grand, give or take.
20 for the first year, yep. 25. And then after that, probably closer to 5,000 a year.
I see it as a helpful, tool to help us out. I'm wondering how much our advance would be able to help us organize and build our meetings a little bit more, in a more efficient manner.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 grand, I understand, is not like a massive amount for a whole new meeting tool. I think it's helpful for us to be able to do whatever we can. We owe it to our residents to be able to be clear, transparent, and concise with our thoughts. So I really appreciate you guys bringing it up.
Thank you. Mr. Hugh?
Yes, thank you. So can you elaborate more about the minutes portion? I'm wondering if this could be a tool that our committees could use, and it would be helpful for our secretary in a minute-taking process. And furthermore, is this linkable with Zoom so that when we have virtual meetings, that this is, again, both useful for council and committees who want to use it via virtually.
I'll talk to the second question first in terms of having committees use it. You can get additional licenses for subcommittees, subgroups. it would be, again, depending on the level, but we'll say 1,000 each for a committee license for a year, or if we wanted to do unlimited for all of our committees, it would be $6,000
Annually?
annually.
For any number of committees?
Right.
Good question.
But however, with the minutes portion of it? would
Oh, I'm
that-
sorry, right, the
yeah.
minutes portion, we didn't get into that in a lot of detail, because when we were talking with the vendor, that wasn't kind of what we were asking about the product, but, and Ms. Allen might be able to add here. My understanding is that if the meeting is loaded into the software and, we use it to do all the votes, that it will create meeting minutes right after the meeting. And, of course, they will need to be reviewed and edited to some extent. But I think the promise was that it would cut down on the amount of time that we need to draft minutes to, an hour maybe. Is that?
They didn't have any examples yet of the minutes process. And they were working on that, and they were going to send it over to us at a later date. I don't think they were going to have it finalized until later this month.
Okay.
Right. Mr. Gardiner, you are not making a recommendation on the minutes part yet, right? For the council,
Oh,
are you?
It's all one package.
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
It's whether we kind of would use that or not. There is reference in the PowerPoint about the ability to automate microphones. We're not interested
Okay,
in that.
I thought that's.
We don't really need it.
Okay.
But I think down the road, the minute creation, or the minutes creation function is something that we will probably look at.
Down the road, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Esther?
Certainly. Can someone
Sorry,
turn off? Okay, thank you. So one, I noted the reference to the creation of minutes, which I thought could actually decrease some work from staff,
Yeah.
from clerks specifically. My question has to do with virtual meetings. So if you could explain that a bit more. So I got what you were saying if one person needed to be virtual, but what happens when the entire meeting is virtual, and how does what I heard you say is that it could be used on the phone, but how does the public still see votes and things of that nature when we're all virtual?
Good question. First, it can be used on your phone or your laptops, and so the software could be loaded on that for those situations when you were all virtual. If you're all virtual, I think we would have to have a way for a Zoom camera to show probably the clerk's computer to see the kind of the public results. I don't know exactly how that might actually work.
Hopefully we'll not be having many virtual meetings unless there is a snowstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the easiest would be that you wouldn't see it, but you would have to say it. And, the idea for the public screen is that the camera would zoom into the public screen when the time is there, and it would be stated. So it wouldn't be a screen that would be up all the time for the remote viewer.
Thank you.
Thank you, very interesting. Ms. Mackey? Mayor Pro Tem will come back. She'll come back.
Okay, so, thank you. I had a question on the voting. So, on the voting, would there, sometimes we take a while to vote, you know, people need to think is there like unlimited time to put your vote in, or will there be like a cutoff and then you didn't vote or something like that? So I guess that's my question.
Yeah, I think that the time to vote will be, I think, either set by you or set by the chair. But there is a process that, you know, you lock your own vote, and votes are not displayed as they are voted. They're displayed at once. And I think the clerk's functionality includes some control over that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm not done. So we've gotten into a habit, and it might be a bad habit, of doing vote explanations sometimes. So I guess that would be.
Yeah, that's correct, a bad habit.
Yeah, that would
It's
be
not a good habit.
that would be not possible with this system, correct?
Perhaps after the fact, perhaps, but not
Okay.
during the process.
Okay, and my second question, well, I guess it's my third question. So there have been times when we needed a supermajority. Would that be something that could be programmed into it, the system? Like if we
I
have
think
a
it,
vote that we need a supermajority, would that be like on the screen? Because sometimes people don't really understand
right.
why it didn't pass because we needed a supermajority.
Yeah.
Would that be explained in some way?
The meeting manager has the ability to add notes
Oh,
that
okay.
would be put on the screen, and so that could be done that way. I mean, also, most votes, the mayor doesn't vote, and so we would have to have it set up so that in case of a tie, the mayor would be enabled to vote. So there's some things like that.
So when you say the vote is locked, does that mean that, like, when you vote, you'll see your vote, but it doesn't go up on the screen where all the votes are shown? So you know that you didn't press the wrong button?
Right, I think when you vote, you'll be asked to confirm your vote.
Okay,
And then when you do that, it'll have your name on the screen, and it won't say how you voted. It'll just say either you're voting or your vote is locked.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
either you're voting or you have voted.
That's what I thought it meant when I
Yeah.
saw, on the video that you showed us.
Yep.
Okay, those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. My only comment is I'm so happy to hear that the queuing technology, this will be super useful for all of us, for the entire body. And sometimes I really feel bad that I do not recognize some of my colleagues and give them the right order of speaking. So I feel sorry for that, but this will really help. Mr. Young.
I just wanted to clarify a point for Ms. Mackey. If you were to go with this system, it would not relieve you of your obligation to disclose why you abstained from a vote. If you chose to abstain from a vote, you'd actually still have to do that verbally.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to add, the note-taking and capturing meeting actions is part of this package. I think the more extensive, probably AI-created full minutes might not be available yet, but it's supposed to come this year.
The other question I had, so we have a large council, and sometimes our meeting goes pretty late because of a pretty engaging conversation. So remember, we have first bite, second bite, third bite, and there is a suggestion we set the time for every bite. So, if, for example, in the first round we gave, say, 2 minutes, the second round 1 minute. Is it possible to program this?
I am fairly certain that it is. I wanted to confirm with the vendor, and I haven't yet, about the timer. I know you can set different times for the public speaking timer. I'm assuming you can have that public speaker timer up for any part, for any speaker. And
Any
you can
speaker,
set
right.
different time limits.
Okay, thank you, it'll be this one. Ms. Whitney and the second bite, and then Mr. Hill.
Have you had a first bite yet?
I had a first bite.
He had, yes.
Okay, I'll be quick. but good prediction that I would have a second bite.
I knew that.
So what happens, like, a conversation has been going on a really long time, and somebody, now that I've ever done this before, is like, I gotta go to the bathroom, gets up, leaves the dais, and the vote happens while you're gone. Like, are we gonna wait? Are you shown as abstaining? Or should everyone,
to
as
the
they
chair.
walk away from the dais, like, is there an option to be not present while they walk away from the dais? And then it would automatically keep track of quorum?
You know, I think if what you described happened, where the person was out of the room, did not vote, you all voted, went along with the meeting, what would happen on the screen is that the members would be listed, and who voted in favor, who voted against, who abstained, and who was absent. I think that's an option. I know, yes, it is an option. It's been listed in other demos I've seen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know that you're next.
No.
Dr. Esther,
I don't
please,
have a second.
follow up.
So what happens if there's not quorum, if that happens, if someone walks away? Can that be programmed into the system? So I don't know if it would like have a big alarm that goes off or
Right.
something, but what would happen then?
I think, I don't know, but I think that's something that either either it's going to be programmed that there were not enough votes for the item to pass, or the clerk is going to have to note that, 4 in favor, 3 opposed, the rest absent, majority vote, but it still fails in certain circumstances. I think that's something either that will be programmed in, or we just need to remember, which is what we do now.
Yeah, we did verbally.
talking about where there's just not
Means not 5
But
members.
there's not a
right,
quorum at
there-
all.
In that moment, if somebody gets up,
Yeah.
as Ms.
Right.
Whitney, Councilmember Whitney explained, someone gets up and we no longer have quorum, what happens?
Then I don't think
You no
as,
longer have a meeting.
yeah,
You can't, once you don't have a
Well, someone
quorum.
goes to the bathroom and comes back. So we had that happen previously. Someone went to the
Right,
bathroom,
right.
come back. Does the system stop it, or we just have to pay attention
I think we
to
probably
that?
would have to
Okay.
stop it.
yeah, and.
Because the clerk would have to note in the system who's present and who's not present.
Miss
Stephanie
Allen,
and I will still be here.
you'll be advising us what to do.
Thank you.
Not to continue. All right.
So my second bite is
Mr. Hill,
very
please.
brief, just because most of my other questions have been addressed, but just for this instance, because my question was addressed and I wanted to lower my hand, just wanted to make sure to take myself out of the queue, that I have that ability.
Who does the cancellation of once the council member actually speaks?
Oh, I'm sure you can withdraw your
Well, I'll
request
do?
to speak. No.
Okay, councilor himself.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm sure there will be demos, there will be a training session before we implement
Yes,
it, right?
it comes with 15 hours of training,
Okay.
so. But it seems fairly intuitive and,
Going back to Councilor Hernandez's comment of reducing cost, do you have to use the tablet? Many of us we bring our own laptop, but we also have our city-issued laptops, so you could use that one.
you could use your laptop. I think the recommendation was to just kind of keep it on a separate device.
Okay.
And although you can do it on a phone, it's probably not as easy on a phone.
The tablet or.
So, and tablets are, they're not horribly expensive.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Whitney?
My concern about us having a phone in the mix, like on the dais, is just the optics of that, because of Open Meetings Act. I don't have my phone up
Yeah.
here at all, ever, for that reason. So I kind of like the tablet idea.
No, I was thinking, for example, I bring my own laptop. I also have my city-issued laptop, so I could use both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? All right. Ms. Mitchell.
So I do appreciate Mr. Gardner bringing this up to us, because we have been having conversations for many months.
Yeah.
I would appreciate if we had another vendor we could do a comparison with in regards to cost as well as features that are address the needs that we want to be addressed. Because at first when I said 10,000, I said, that's not bad, but then when you talked about the additional licensing with the 6,000, so you're talking about 25,000 then each year. So I would just ask us as a council, as a body, to get another vendor to do a comparison before we move forward. And in the interim, for us to work on those, some of the two key priorities we need to work on until we make a decision on a vendor. And that is the queuing and I can't think of the other one.
Limiting our time speaking. Limiting our time speaking.
Thank you, Councilman Whitney. Those two key issues.
And I missed the second one.
Limiting our time.
Oh,
So if we can devise some way of doing that until we pick a vendor, I would appreciate it.
okay.
Can staff do that? Reaching
Yeah.
out to other vendors?
Yes, I mean, we can look at other vendors and see. Initially, what we found were timekeeping systems and systems that were connected to the microphones, which we didn't really want. Tacoma Park has a system like that, but I think the product has not been available for a while. But we can look and see if there are other vendors that provide something comparable and kind of look at the price, cost of each.
And then you can have your recommendation and bring it back to the
Sure.
council? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Mr. Gardner, do we know of another municipality who's currently using this system?
The company is from the Midwest. They have a lot of testimonials from municipalities in the Midwest. They are in Virginia, I think. There's one or two testimonials from Virginia Beach School District. They are not in Maryland yet. They were going to offer us a discount to be the first in Maryland, but so nobody close by, but a lot of people in another region of the country.
So the cost that was quoted, was that a discounted price that they quoted us?
The
Based upon what
cost
you
that so what they said is that, and this was a few weeks back, that we could, I think, join for the lower tier price, which would be about 11,000. But for the first year, we would get the mid-tier features, which was kind of the $15,000 cost. I assume that offer would still stand, but I didn't want to tell you 11 and find out it's 15. So.
All right. So looks like you have a direction from
Yep.
the council moving forward, right? Any further questions? Seeing none? All right, thank you. Thank you
Great,
so
thank
much
you.
for working on it. It's not easy, but I think it will make a huge difference, make things a lot more transparent to our residents. Thank you. All right, now we have the third and the very last work session item, which is the future Four Cities meeting, which will be, I believe, January 23rd. And guess where? In College Park. 23rd or 30th, right? We are not quite, Miss Allen? Because we have 5 weeks, 5 Thursdays. Is it Thursday or Wednesday? Thursdays.
The meetings are usually on Thursdays. I don't know, I requested with the other 4 cities if they would like to have it, hold it on the 30th, the 5th, or the 4th Tuesday, the 23rd or the 30th. I haven't received a response back from everyone yet.
Okay, but we can talk about the agenda tonight.
Correct.
All right. Any one agenda I have on my mind is about. I'm sure my council will agree. It's about the situation or status of the fire departments, and the county elections is coming. Some of the elected officials have been discussing to come up with a priority list for the fire departments, and present that to the candidates, the county executives, to see kind of lobbying on behalf of our fire departments. But that was Prince George's county-wide discussion, but I'm sure the four cities, member cities, will be interested to have that conversation as well. Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In regards to your quest about the fire department and the county executive, I know PGCMA is going to be discussing Thursday about a possible a forum in partnership with NAACP. So that may be something for PGCMA, but still, I know you want to put this as an agenda item. I would like to ask if we could have a discussion about the report that came from our Bike and Pedestrian Safety Committee about the student, Prince George's County School Safety for Students. There is a county work group, and that it was led by my own District 3 Councilmember Eric Olson. So I would like to see if he can come to the 4 cities meeting to give us a debrief about the report in regards to student safety on buses and sidewalks, to the 4 cities group, and invite the 2 school board members, Jonathan Briggs and Pamela Boozer Struther Boozer. If she hears me tell, I apologize if I chopped up her last name. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Anyone else? Dr. Estes?
So I wonder, given some of the meetings that were had on issues related to safety, and what we heard from Major Coletti, and what I just heard from the Chief of Police too, about issues that are around juvenile crime, and what may be happening in other areas, and considering that we are in a legislative session, what, if anything, can be done to assist with that?
Okay. Steph got it. Juvenile. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Hernandez.
I think all of the recommended items so far have been great and cover all 4. If I could just add to Mayor Pro Temp's recommendation, I'd like to have a better idea of what Prince George's Public Schools approach is to snow. They had 4 days, and it just kept going. Of like, I at this point, I mean, I hope somebody watches this on video because it is ridiculous, right? Like, my little brother and sister are just not sure whether or not they're gonna go back to school for 4 days just because we had 1 day of snow. So while we're talking about the buses and the safety routes, I think are extraordinarily important because I'm still concerned about, I think it's Good Luck Road next to Parkdale. And the multiple incidents that happened there, I'd love to see a light there. Can we just have a brief, like 1 or 2 questions as to what what the snow response plan is for Prince George's County Public Schools? And we don't even need to go outside of the city. I know that, regrettably, in District 1, Hollywood Elementary School had some, challenges trying to just clear their snow. So.
And thank you for your help.
Sure.
We saw the letter. Appreciation. Thank you. It might be a good idea to invite someone from PGCPS at the meeting during that discussion as well. Because unless you're going to send a letter. Ms. Mitchell?
If we can invite the Director of Transportation for Prince George's County Public Schools, as well as the Director, Michael Johnson, from Department of Public Works and Transportation for the county. Because the county, as Councilman Hernandez said, did not do an adequate response in implementation with this snowstorm. So thank you.
All right, anyone else? That's all, we have enough.
That's a meeting agenda.
It's, yeah, we already had, how many, 4 or 5, Ms. Allen? 4. Yeah, that's a good number. All right, thank you all, and I hope to see you all at the Four Cities meeting. It'll be wonderful to host our guests there from our cities, other cities. All right, we are done with all the work sessions. Now we go for request for a status of the future agenda items. Ms. Whitney?
Thank you. We have not yet officially formed and nominated members of the Child Care Task Force, and I don't see it on the future agenda list. And I know one of the ideas was that they would comment on coming legislation, so it feels like something that we should get on the agenda, hopefully next meeting, so we can get moving on that. Yes?
Sure, Steph got it. Thank you. Anyone else? I haven't seen any application yet. That might not be a bad thing. Yeah, it is. It is on the website. It is on the website, but I don't think there is a link for it, right? I mean, we have the links.
I'll send a link out to everyone.
Yeah, the link is not public because our residents don't need to use it. All right. Anything else? Madam President?
Excuse me, and this is not a future agenda item per se, like a work session, but I would like to see if we can get our lobbyists to come and talk to us about the upcoming session in Annapolis in regards to the governor's budget, which is supposed to come out tomorrow, what cuts are going to be made, how that would affect us in our upcoming budget planning work session. I think it's important, especially for our residents, to understand what we will have to sit down at a table to discuss, to think about, and make decisions on in regards to our budget.
Certainly. Yeah, it's a good idea. When, Mr. Young, when does our lobbyist actually come to city council meetings? They come annually, right? What time do they
Well,
come?
they usually come annually, well, twice. They come at the beginning of the session, usually, and at the end.
So that's
I
exactly
think-
what Ms. Mitchell is suggesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That aligns with your request?
Let me clarify. I would like them to come more frequently when needed, because things are going on in Annapolis that we may need to respond to in a timely fashion we won't know about. And so I think Mr. Gardner is taking that charge or lead in regards to legislation. There's a lot, again, like today at 2 o'clock, I just got a call from someone saying, did you know what was going on? Like, no, I did not know. And I think as a council and body, we want to be in a more proactive position than a reactive position.
Certainly. Thank you. I see, I don't see, I mean, they'll be coming anyway, but what you're suggesting in the future also, we could probably invite them on an ad hoc basis as we need them. Thank you. All right, any other requests on the future agenda? Seeing none, let's go to the comments from the audience. I saw one virtual hands earlier in the meeting. I'm not sure that rest. Yeah, he is still there. Mr. Hussain, do you still? Let me see. If you're interested in speak, I can. I actually cannot add him. Can you bring him in?
I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's in. Okay, please go ahead. Please state your name and if you're a resident of College Park and proceed
Yes.
with your testimony. You have 3 minutes only.
Yeah, my name is Hussein Wahid, and I'm doing advanced technology acceleration with University of Maryland researchers and their research centers. And I'm also attempting to get 3 initiatives. I had mentioned about them the last time. One is for dynamical systems, the implementation specifications and standards for them that distinguish between starting and implementation, requires a lot of interaction, and we have calculated delivers a large scale economic efficiency, so we call them transformative economic efficiency initiatives, and they are under review by those who have research experience and also practical implementation experience. That is one part. Then the other one is the carbon neutral, carbon negative biofuels research that can be very useful in College Park setting, and we would like to see how that implementation can be enhanced through some voluntary collaboration to see the testing and the feasibility part through College Park city agreement as it can be worked out. The other one is continuous learning and health protection information, risk minimization, information integration. Also an initiative that is self-sustaining, does not utilize any funds, but at the same time generates large-scale economic efficiency because it's a continuous process. And I'll be able to provide better update next time. And if you wish to give me some time, very brief, I can accommodate in that. And I will also mention to the developers of the bills that College Park has given me the 2 opportunities. I have shared the draft materials with the council members. I hope you received them. They were emailed before the last week's meeting. If there is another way to email to you, I can attempt that this time, and it will include the updates. And I do appreciate your request to get updates from your contractor or your lobbyist. That will be very helpful too.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, I got an email. I'll forward that to all. In the future, if you have if you want to share with the entire city council, please email to cpmc@collegeparkmd.gov. That is the standard email. And once
I think last time I had sent it there, but I'll try again. I don't know if you received it. This was before last week's meeting, but I'll try it again, and I'll make sure you get it through the officers during the day.
Thank you. Thank you for your advocacy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. Any raised hand? I do not see any. Anyone in the room? No, that is Mr. Hussain. Yeah, he just spoke. All right, seeing now, let's come back to the council. We have 6 members council tonight, so it'll be quick. Ms. Mackey.
Pass.
And Ms. Mitchell, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tomorrow we'll be attending the first COG meeting for 2025, the Board of Directors meeting, and I'll be glad to give you a report next week on the outcome of that. Thursday is the Prince George's County Municipal Association's meeting for my colleagues. It is virtual. There will be a representative from the county executive's liaison's office, as well as there will be a report regarding our upcoming legislative priorities as a county. So hopefully it is virtual, and I hope many of us will attend. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So today was big day in College Park. Governor Westmore came to College Park. He made a huge news conference at the IonQ business. As you know, this is very fast-growing, high-tech quantum computing company, and they're growing very fast. So he made an announcement of a huge investment, and the goal is to attract $1 billion investment over the 5 years, and they'll be adding, I believe, another 250 jobs in College Park as well. So it's pretty exciting. I did share that news to all of you this afternoon. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be attending U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting, which will be happening in Washington, D.C. And President Biden is probably opening the meeting. So it'll be a good networking opportunity. That's all I have. Ms. Whitney.
Thank you. Last week, I was able to attend the meeting of the Coalition to Support Prince George's County Fire and EMS with our fellow council member, John Rigg. I was very happy that Councilmember Rigg was on the call, as well as Mount Rainier Councilmember Danielle Carter, as they both are currently volunteer firefighters. So they brought a lot of knowledge to the discussion, and I think the discussion on what items really to elevate to the county executive candidates are really getting winnowed down and fine-tuned. So I was happy to be able to participate in that.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
And of course, Stefan Legan of the town of Brentwood was also a host.
They're doing a fantastic job in leading the group. Hope to see the final priority list in the coming days. Thank you. Dr. Estes?
Pass.
Thank you. Mr. Hill?
Thank you. Pass.
And Mr. Hernandez?
I just want to quickly thank our public services for their, specifically code enforcement, for ensuring that the sidewalks were covered, or excuse me, like cleared. Yep, sorry, English second language. Were cleared this, following this weekend's snow. I also had the opportunity, as we were walking around with Neighbors Helping Neighbors, clearing some sidewalks, to see for those parts of the sidewalk that weren't cleared, a nice little note reminding residents to make sure that they cleared their sidewalk, both in English and Spanish, with a fun little snowman. Speaking of snowmen, I did see a few creative snowmen up in District 1. They were all shapes and sizes. Some even had lights, so I was really excited to see that. And I do want to thank Public Works and the city staff for responding so quickly and helping with a few bags of snow melt to Hollywood Elementary School.
Yeah.
We were grateful. There were some issues there, so really just thank you so much for doing that. I hope that everyone has a great week.
Thank you. Still on liaison, Ms. McDonald's.
I'll pass, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Young.
Just wanted to mention we have a slight opportunity for some additional snow on Sunday, but just slight at the moment.
Half of an inch, maybe, hopefully.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question real quick?
Please go ahead.
Mr. City Manager, sir, I was wondering if it was possible for us to do a small training on the homestead tax credit to residents. I know that SDAT will be coming here soon, and I was hoping to see, what's that? Okay, I was hoping to see if there was any resources that we could push out to residents as a reminder for those who may not have applied to the incredible city resource that we have.
Yeah, I've actually already asked Mr. Fields and Ms. Quiones to work on getting together an informational campaign that we can send out to residents, and I can't remember if it was video or if it was also in person, but I think we have a combination of the two that are in the works for both the homestead tax credit as well as the senior tax credit.
Also the homeowners.
Many of our residents actually got in the mail over the holiday as well. I didn't know if some of you knew that, but that did go out at the end of the year for a number of our residents.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate that. I mean, it's a free money,
okay,
but many of our residents do not know, which is unfortunate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this up.
Thanks, Mr. City Manager. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I do what I can.
Keep up the good work. All right, that's all we have. And now we go to, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment, but before that, we'll have a closed session. So let me read out the statement, and it reads as follows. The pursuant to the statutory authority of Maryland Annotated Code General Provisions of Article 3-305B, 7 and 8. The Mayor and Council of the City of College Park are providing notice that they will meet in a closed session after the meeting to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. They will not return to open session. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? We are adjourned. We are not going to be back after the closed session. Good night, College Park. Thank you.